Welcome again. By now, you may realize that I teach this class virtually on Zoom and then I post the lesson plans on YouTube. So, if you're watching this online and I say that we're going to review the home assignments, mind you, I do teach the class virtually as well. So, the objectives for this presentation is that we're going to review the parts of speech, review class and home assignments on words that are commonly misused in the English language, cover correcting errors in capitalization, punctuation, and apostrophes. Hopefully, you saw the last lesson plan that covered the parts of speech. If not, we're going to review the parts of speech here. Your nouns are naming words. They name persons, places, things, or ideas. A pronoun replaces a noun or a noun phrase. Verbs are your action words. They help the main verb to show the tense, mood, or voice of the sentence. Adverbs describe verbs. For example, in this sentence, he was speaking really quickly. Really quickly would be two adverbs. Adjectives describe words. Describe nouns by telling what kind, which one, how many, or how much. An example sentence: I like a red car with a big trunk. Your adjectives would be the word red and the word big. Conjunctions. Conjunctions are joining words. They link words, phrases, or clauses. And an example sentence is I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing the dishes afterward. Your conjunctions would be the word and the word but. Prepositions. Prepositions are connecting words. They show the relationship between a noun and pronoun and another word in the sentence. An example: she was hiding under the table. The word under there is the preposition. And there are three articles in the English language: the word a, the word and the word the. Now we're going to cover misused words. There are words in the English language that are commonly misused, and some of those are there, THEY apostrophe RE versus THEIR versus THERE. Whose and whose, one with an apostrophe S, that's WHO apostrophe S, or whose, WHOSE. Your, YOUR versus YOU apostrophe RE. Its, ITS versus its, IT apostrophe S. Than, THAN versus then, THEN. Affect, AFFECT versus EFFECT. And two, TWO versus 2TO versus 2TOO. So we're going to cover all of these now. After watching this lesson, you may realize that there are some words that you've been using incorrectly. One that I typically see is the your versus your. A lot of times I notice that people will text me and say your YOUR when they should be using your YOU apostrophe RE. I don't think about it too much because a lot of times when people are texting, they're rushing. But anyhow, if you have any confusion, hopefully you will be completely crystal clear after this lesson plan. What you see here is a paragraph from one of my students. Their home assignment was to write down what they would feel like after they get their GED, or even what their plans are afterwards. They were to use commonly misused words in the English language, and then we would correct them together. After I received my GED, there are many things I have in store. So take a look at the word there, THEIR. Is that correct? How would you know? And I'll give you a moment. THEIR is incorrect in that sentence. Let's look at this again. After I receive my GED, there are many things I have in store. If your guess is that THERE was correct, then you would be correct. THEIR is used for a group of people. THEY' is they are, so that would be incorrect. THERE is the correct word for that sentence. Next, I have to weigh my pros and cons. There are many things that I want to do. So this person chose to use the word there again. THERE. There are many things that I want to do. And that is correct. I tell myself you're ready to move on to better things now. So in this sentence, they chose to use your, YOUR. So now, in taking a look at that, should it be YOUR or should it be YOU apostrophe RE? And I'll give you a moment. The answer is that it should be YOU apostrophe RE. And the reason behind that is that you are is correct. I tell myself you are ready to move on to better things now. I can work on retrieving a peer recovery certificate. I'm excited for my kids to see my diploma. They are going to be proud of me. In this sentence, the student chose to use there again, THERE. Now, is that correct? Or should it be THEIR? Or should it be THEY apostrophe RE? And I'll give you a moment. If your if your answer is it should be THEY apostrophe RE, then you guessed that correct. Or hopefully it was an educated guess. They are THEY apostrophe RE going to be proud of me. There are millions of people doing this every day, but I feel special. THEIR, THERE, or THEY apostrophe RE. And I'll give you a minute. Now, if your answer is THERE, that would be correct. There are millions of people doing this every day, but I feel special. Let's move on. Now here I wrote a quick little story about Stacy, who may have parked somewhere where she should not have, but it's going to allow us to practice. So what I'm going to do is read over the following sentences and we'll determine if any corrections need to be made. Whose car is that in my parking space? Whose? WHOSE or WHO apostrophe S? It should be, as it is, whose, WHOSE. And the way that you know that is that WHO apostrophe S says who is. Who is car is that in my space, of course, would be incorrect. So the way that you see that there, WHOSE is correct. I believe the car belongs to Stacy. Stacy needs to obtain a permit to park there. There, THERE. That is correct because, of course, THEIR refers to a group and THEY apostrophe RE is they are. Stacy needs to obtain a permit to park there. THERE again is correct. Can she request a permit for the office? Oops, sorry, that should be, can she request a permit from the office when they're open? There, THEIR. If you took a look at that and realized that that is incorrect, you're right. It should be THEY apostrophe In other words, can she request a permit from the office when they are open? Will Stacy have to go there to pick up, or will they mail it to her? There, There. Will Stacy have to go there? That is correct. I'm not sure, but I will give Stacy a real quick call so she does not get towed by the tow driver that works there. They are is actually how that's written. So I'm sure you probably realize that that is incorrect. It should be There. Next sentence. You're right to call her so she does not get a citation or towed. Your, Y-O-U-R. That is actually incorrect. It should be Y-O-U''RE. So in other words, a sentence would read, you are right to call her so she does not get a citation or towed. Next sentence, if Stacy can come and move her car, this will not affect her day much. Now, the word that I chose there is affect, A-F-F-E-C-T. That is actually correct. And we're going to further review affect, A-F-F-E-C-T versus effect, E-F-F-E-C-T. However, if Stacy is towed, whose fault would it be? Whose. Now this whose is W-H-O''S, which, as you know, says who is. So that would be incorrect in this sentence. However, if Stacy is towed, whose fault would it be? That, of course, would not be right. So it should be W-H-O-S-E. I thought this was a cute way to remember there. They're drinking their juice over there. They are drinking their juice. There is a group. Over there. There is a place or an area. They're drinking their juice over there. Hopefully this will help you remember. Remember I said we were going to go back to affect versus effect. Now here's your rule. Affect is a verb to create a change. Affect is a noun that describes a change. In other words, affect, A-F-F-E-C-T, produces an effect, E-F-F-E-C-T. Now giving you more of a review of the 3 to words. TWO, of course, represents a number. TO shows direction. TOO means also. So here's an example. I was able to use all 3 in a sentence here. The 2 of us are going to therapy too. In other words, both of us are going to therapy too. In addition to maybe another couple. The 2 of us are going to therapy too. 2 more words that are commonly misused. Who and whom. Here's your rule. Whom should be used to refer to the object of a verb or preposition. When in doubt, try this simple trick. If you can replace the word with he or she, use who. If you can replace it with him or her, use whom. Who should be used to refer to the subject of a sentence. Whom should be used to refer to the object of a verb or preposition. Next, we're going to go over capitalization, punctuation, and apostrophes. Here's a non-exhaustive list of things that should be capitalized. The first word of a sentence, the first word of every line of poetry, the first letter of proper nouns, holidays, the days of the week and months of the year, the first word, last word, and all major words in the titles of books, movies, songs, and other creative works. Titles when preceding a proper noun. For example, Aunt Agnes, Judge Judy. Here's a note to remember. When using a word such as president or officer without a pronoun, capitalization is not needed. For example, the city is looking to hire a new officer for each sector due to the extensive list of retirees this year. Now, one common mistake is capitalizing seasons. The seasons actually do not need to be capitalized unless they begin a sentence. Another note to remember: north, south, east, and west are capitalized when referring to regions, but not when being used for directions. Here's an example. I'm from the north. North here should be capitalized. I'll have to drive further north to visit my parents. In that sentence, north is not capitalized. Next, we're going to talk about using apostrophes with possessive nouns correctly. Possessives. In grammar, possessive nouns show ownership like mine, yours, and theirs. Singular nouns are generally made possessive with an apostrophe and an S. Take a look at this example here. My aunt's rabbit is black, white, and brown. The rabbit's fur is so soft. Her name is Beauty. She gets her fur wet sometimes when she drinks her water. She's so cute that my uncle's dog even likes her. I was allowed to bring her to school for show and tell in class. The students' eyes became big when they saw her. You probably noted from that paragraph that the word students was students with an apostrophe at the end after the S, which is a plural noun. Plural nouns ending in S are generally made possessive by just adding an apostrophe. Here's another example of the apostrophe being at the end of the sentence. The nuts' saltiness is added during roasting. In other words, the saltiness of the nuts is added during roasting. The students' tests are being printed now. The tests of the students is being printed now. Here are some examples of plural nouns. First, a list of nouns that add an S at the end. Dog becomes dogs, for example. Banana becomes bananas. Flower becomes flowers. Now, the next set adds an ES. Box becomes boxes. Bush becomes bushes. Witch becomes witches. The next set adds an IES and drops a Y. Cherry, the plural is cherries. Baby, the plural babies. Daisy, the plural daisies. So again, they drop the Y and add the IES. Baby, B-A-B-Y, becomes B-A-B-I-E-S, for example. The next set adds VES at the end, and it drops either an F, or an FE. Leaf becomes leaves. L-E-A-F becomes L-E-A-V-E-S. Another example, wolf. The plural of wolf is wolves. Shelf, and the plural of shelf is shelves. Plural nouns fall in two categories, regular and irregular. For example, sheep. Now, if sheep is singular, it's spelled S-H-E-E-P. However, if it's plural, it's still spelled S-H-E-E-P. Fish is the same. Deer, also the same. And then we have man versus men. So you see how you change that A to an E. Irregular, plural noun. The same with woman versus women. And then another odd one, child becomes children. Person becomes people. The plural of mouse is mice. The plural of foot is feet. And the plural of tooth is teeth. And these are just some the most commonly used in the English language. Next, in reviewing punctuation, we're going to go over the ellipsis. That's that dot, dot, dot that you see sometimes after sentences. Writers may use the ellipsis in place of words, lines, phrases, list content, or paragraphs that might have just as easily been omitted in the passage. For example, blueberries are good for many reasons. Woodson writes, blueberries have many benefits such as dot, 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 or ellipsis, reducing the risk of cancer. So here in this example, the ellipsis takes place of the benefits of blueberries that are more expected. Another way that the ellipsis is used is to show a pause in the flow of the sentence. For example, I'm wondering how this could happen to me, Emily said to herself. Now here's an acronym that you may want to remember in making corrections in writing. CUPS. C, capitalization. U, understanding. P, punctuation. S, spelling. Now, when I'm teaching my class virtually, I will normally have the group do a home assignment, and then what we'll do is go back over it in the next class. So within this lesson plan, what I had them do is record a motivational speech of their own. It didn't have to be any longer than 3 minutes, and the purpose was to uplift themselves and to work on their presentation skills. So they really enjoyed that. We were able to go back over that and see each other's motivational speech. But one of the main ideas behind doing that is for them to make sure that they did not use any common errors in English. Thank you. I hope you received a lot of value from that. Again, my name is Thais Woodson. I am your instructor. Please join me again for GED Test Prep, and I can be emailed at ThaisWoodsonPRP2@gmail.com.